Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you all the reasons why I've decided to stay natural in my fitness journey. I've never used performance enhancing drugs. I have no intention to. And I'll start with the most obvious reason, and then I'll get into some other reasons that I don't hear as often discussed. Before we begin, I should say I am not a medical professional. None of what I say should be construed as medical advice. If you are thinking about using anabolic steroids or other performance-enhancing drugs, talk to your doctor. All right, with that said, let's get into the video. So the number one reason is most obviously health, and more specifically, anabolic steroids cause adverse side effects. Heart, liver, kidney, other organ problems. How many bodybuilders have we seen die prematurely from years of steroid abuse? Not to mention male pattern balding, acne, premature aging, testicular atrophy. And on that last point, when you introduce exogenous testosterone and other compounds into your body will shut down natural production of these hormones. And depending on how many cycles you've done and to what extent you've abused anabolic steroids, it may not be possible for your hormone levels to rebound fully after discontinued use without the use of testosterone replacement therapy or the like. And that leads into the second reason, which is that continued steroid use turns you into a permanent client of the pharmaceutical industry. Steroids, TRT, other hormone therapies are often intended to be lifelong commitments because, as I've said, these drugs impact natural production of hormones. This is why athletes who have abused steroids for years in the past are now required to take TRT because their body's natural production of these hormones is permanently suppressed. And speaking for myself, I would never want to have to be dependent on a substance in order to live a normal life. What happens if I can no longer afford the therapies, or it becomes extremely disruptive to my day-to-day life to have to keep up a consistent dosage regimen? So you have to think about the long term. The third reason is that steroids should take up a significant amount of mental bandwidth. So what do I mean by that? When you introduce PEDs into your fitness regimen, you've just added another variable in addition to training, nutrition, recovery, etc., and an incredibly complex variable at that. If you're using responsibly and legally under the prescription of a doctor, as you should be, and you're taking ownership of your health, then you have to become something of an armchair expert on endocrinology. You have to understand dosing, frequency, side effects, post-cycle therapies. You'll need to meticulously monitor, in consultation with a doctor, your blood work, because the body is a dynamic system. It's not as if you can just take testosterone and growth hormone and that's the only thing that's going to change in the body. These drugs have cascading effects, and it becomes your responsibility to understand all of that if you're going to use these compounds. Just as an example, one side effect of steroid use is gynecomastia, or the development of breast tissue. And that's because steroids increase the production of estrogen. Now, that can be mitigated through an estrogen blocker, but the estrogen blocker has cascading effects, and so on. And so you can see, when you think about it, it's a ton of work to understand all of this, and most of us have enough to think about between our jobs, school, hobbies, other commitments, and I prefer to spend my time and energy thinking about other things. All right, fourth, and this one is especially personal to me. Steroids are addictive. Once you start using and you see the physical and psychological changes, increased strength and muscularity, higher sex drive, increased aggression and confidence, you have to ask yourself, are you going to be willing to come off? Because many users will tell you, and the research indicates, that when you do come off, and eventually you will have to for health reasons if you're using super physiological dosages, that you will experience a come down in mood. I mean, just think of it, right? Steroid users are a population that is investing a lot of time and attention into their appearance and their athletic performance. And it's not going to be fun to see yourself regress after you've made all these supernatural changes to your body through steroids. So depression is a common withdrawal symptom. Some people experience suicidal ideation. For me, I already know I have a more addictive and obsessive personality, so going down the path of addictive drugs probably would not end well for me. And the fifth and final reason, again more subjective, more personal, is that I have an aesthetic interest in seeing what I can do without PEDs. Aesthetic meaning a matter of taste. So even ignoring all the other downsides of steroid use that I mentioned, I would still want to be able to see what my body is capable of naturally. Now, I put that in quotes because natural itself is a somewhat subjective concept. One could argue that heavy weightlifting at all or any form of supplementation is not natural, but I draw the line at PEDs, like most people. And for me, it's such a flex to achieve athletic feats or make changes in my body that lead others to suspect I'm on steroids, even knowing I'm a lifelong natural. And those are the main reasons for me. So leave a comment below with your thoughts. I'd love to see what others think about this, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you all next time.